We are live here today, the still unnamed show, so we're getting some suggestions if anyone wants to do. Today we got Jesse Cole of the Savannah Bananas. Jesse, really excited to talk to you today. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, pumped to be with you. I know we've been in touch for a while now, and glad to make it happen.
Yeah, so the first thing I want to do is congratulate you guys. I saw that you were named as one of the best places to work by Front Office Sports. Any comments about that? Tell us a little bit about how that makes you feel and how that ranks. And you've had a lot of accomplishments. You're a very accomplished person, but I can see how that can rank pretty high. Where does that rank on what you've accomplished?
Yeah, well, it's been an evolution for us. I think when I first started, it was all about the just build the team, and just actually build the overall team, not the people. And then it was about customer experience, build the fans. And then it really focused about 5 years ago when we came to Savannah, said we got to go all in on our people. And our biggest fans, as we always say, is our people, is our teammates, our people in the office every day. So we came up with our vision about 6 months ago for the next 5 years. And one of the parts of our vision is that, we want to set the gold standard for benefits and place to work. We want to be a best place to work. We, listed all the things we want to do. And within 3 months to be named one already is a great kind of accomplishment for the team and more of a testament to our people. So I learn a lot from my wife, Emily. She's the one that's all in on, caring and doing so much. That's what she thinks about on a 24/7 basis. And I take her lead, and she's done some amazing things. And our president, Jared Orton, and we'd be able to do things that I never thought we would do. And it's wild, from surprise trips to Disney World and cruises and bucket list trips to Ireland and trips to Game 1 of the World Series, to just surprising our group with, spa in the office and mimosas and shopping sprees. All that stuff just really adds up to make us part of something pretty special.
So I've been to Ireland. It's unbelievable. But I'd love to go back, because when I went with my sister, and she wanted to go on a tour instead of having me drive around. So we did a tour of the cliffs of Moher. Did you go to that?
No, we surprised our fans first director with a trip with her father to go.
Okay. So we got to the cliffs of Moher, fog everywhere. You can't see anything. We're driving in the tour bus away, and within 10 minutes, fog is gone. It's beautiful, but we're on the tour bus going away. So that's life. I hope to get back there someday.
Yeah.
So, you guys, for those who don't follow Jesse or the Savannah Bananas, they're just fun. I mean, that's just the best way to describe you guys. And so I have to imagine that you probably had a lot of people reaching out to you to want to be a part of what you're doing. Do you anticipate that increasing now that your name? I mean, if you're looking for best places to work and you're looking for a job, you're probably going down that list of say, hey, where's the best places to work? Let me apply and see how I can get there.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it starts with every company sharing who they are, what they believe in, and what they stand for. I feel the future of strong businesses are businesses that their leaders, their team comes from behind the desk and comes out in front of people, videos, content, shares their beliefs. And so that's been kind of a strategy for us from the beginning. Especially during COVID, when we were at home, all of our staff did Facebook Lives cooking with bananas. And our staff's not the best cooks, but we were showing them cooking live. We were doing music trivia. We all did Dancing with Myself music videos in our house. And so we started really just showing who we are and what we're about, and the authenticity and transparency of this is us. This is just a bunch of kids trying to have fun and figure it out. And I think that's the start. And then from there, it's once you build that culture, it's the people, they're your greatest recruiters. And I even shared today, hire your fans. If people become fans of what you're doing, they believe in it, they don't want to let you down. They want to keep spreading that and keep growing that. So that's the starting point. And, we're very vocal. I talk a lot. But the reality is I listen just as much. And whenever I'm sharing every day, I'm listening to what the comments, what's the feedback, where is it getting the most engagement? And then we lean in on that. So I think it's definitely a nice touch. And I think, that's the byproduct. We focus on the process of being a great place to work. And you can't just focus on the outcome and the results. You focus on the action steps you need to take to get there. And that's what we focus on. And it's all gravy on top. Same reason why we don't talk about profits. I have no idea what's in our account right now. We don't. I mean, our accountant reached out to the other day. He goes, Jesse, you may be the only baseball team or sports team in the country that was profitable in 2020. I go, great. How much? He goes, a very, very little. I go, I don't care. It doesn't matter, because that's not the purpose. Don't focus on the outcome. Don't focus on the results. Focus on who you are, what you stand for, and the impact you're trying to make, and everything else takes care of itself.
Yeah, that's a couple of good points you made. One, we're big Gator fans. My friend, one of my closest friends, is a Gator nut, and he always says, look, they need to hire me to help with their marketing, because they don't they're not looking at it from the perspective of the fans.
Yes.
And part of the reason why I started my company is because I think the fans should get the option to have a printed ticket. It's going away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not saying you need to give it to them, but they want to have the option. And so, you know, we're fans first. Yeah, I love it. We're fans first the same way you guys are. And, you know, unfortunately, I don't think the majority of teams and companies or in the entertainment world or maybe anywhere really care as much about the fans. They do things that are on the surface, make it look like they're doing for the fans. But at the end of the day, it's kind of just a lazy effort. I talk about this all the time with some of the souvenir tickets that they've done. It's not authentic. It's kind of just doing it just so I could say I did it. And then also, you know, it's hard to know, you know, who you are and what you're doing. So, you know, doing that stuff, being authentic as you guys are, it's obviously going to be helpful. The other thing is that, sorry. So I just lost my question. That's going to happen here. It
was very good. Well, we were talking about fans. We were talking about engagement. We're talking about how many companies just go on and start talking without really putting their perspective of the fans. And I think that's a huge, huge thing that every company should look at.
Right. So with what you're doing, and, you know, let's talk a little bit about the Savannah Bananas, because, you know, not everyone knows a lot about minor league baseball. So you guys are not affiliated with any pro league team, right?
Fortunately, yes.
Yes. So as much as you guys love to win, it's not about wins and losses for you guys.
Yeah. Again, that's an outcome. You know, I'm going to reiterate this over and over again. You know, so everyone looks at destination, outcome, results. Focus on the journey. Focus on the process. Focus on the day and action steps that you need to take. So we don't focus on wins and losses. We focus on creating the most fun atmosphere, the most fans first atmosphere, creating an entertainment always mindset at our ballpark, and making sure our fans, our people, our teammates, and our players and coaches have the best possible experience. I tell the players the first day, I want this to be the most fun summer you've ever had. That's hitting their goal. For the fans, the most fun I've ever had at a baseball game. It was like a circus and a baseball game broke out. That's the mindset that we take. What happens is when you create that fun atmosphere for the players, the coaches, the fans, everyone else performs better. And it's proven. We actually had a college professor come and study us, and they found only one team showed a strong correlation of playing better at summer than they do playing in school ball with metal bats and different competition. It was the Savannah Bananas. And it's because of that culture. If you're having a good time, you enjoy what you're doing, you're having fun, you play better. And I would argue our fans are better at our games than any other game too. When you see an 80-year-old doing Hey Baby dance next to an 8-year-old, and everyone in the stadium is singing, living on a prayer on top of their legs, like from the mountaintops, you're not that type of fan at a high school game or another game or even an Atlanta Braves game. It's a different fan experience. So we raise it all up. And I think that's the mindset that we're trying to do. Make this the most fun atmosphere you can have. That's what we can win. We're not going to win at the nicest stadium. We're a 1926 ballpark. Yeah. All right. Our bathrooms are old. All right. There's paint coming off the side of the building. I mean, we don't have digital scoreboards. We don't have suites. But can we win on fun? And that's what we focus on. So most companies, they try to be everything to everyone, or they try to just be a me too. Oh, I'm going to get the next digital technology. I'm going to get this, and this. No, lean on the one area that you can specialize in and be the best at and expand on that. Like our bathrooms, you know, they're not the nicest, but we have Macon Bacon urinal cakes because Macon Bacon's our rival. So our fans go into the bathroom and they're literally pissing on our rival. And this year we just added Macon Bacon toilet paper.
I was just going to mention that. I saw that. So that's great. I bought, you know, we don't need to get political, but I bought the Donald Trump Twitter toilet paper, and it's sitting in a box. I'm not even going to open it. It's just going to sit there. And 20 years from now, we'll get a good laugh at it.
Yeah, exactly. It's knowing your brand. When people think about you, what do you want them to think of you? What's the emotion that you want to generate? And we want fun, joy, and happiness. And so every touch point, we try to provide that. And I'd argue, does every company really know that? The companies are, hey, we're going to make money. We're going to try to deliver for our customers. But how do you want to make them feel? When you ask that question, it makes the touch points easy to design. And I think not many companies, especially sports teams, are designing the experience to create emotion. They're just designing an experience because they think that's the way they should design it, not with an intention behind it.
But so you're out there talking to people, which is obviously, that's always going to be the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But what are some other ways that you would suggest to find out, other than sending out, a automated survey, or, or maybe that is because people, if they're writing in and giving you suggestions, or maybe you get fan email, what's your, I assume your favorite way to interact is talking to people, but what are some other ways that you've found successful?
Sure. And I don't love surveys. I've never loved surveys. Henry Ford said if I asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody 15 years ago said, I'd like something in my kitchen, shaped like a black cylinder Pringles box that listens to everything we say and I can talk to it. No one would have said that. All right. But yes, you look at Alexa and what it's doing, and same thing with the iPad, the iPod, the iPhone, all of that. You have to look at where your customers are going. And to do that, what you have to do is often get into your customers' shoes. And you have to look at every single pain point, every single friction point. So what we started doing 4 years ago now is started doing undercover fan. And every night at our stadium, someone on our front office staff goes undercover. Even myself, I'll take off the yellow tuxedo. I come in, I park with the fans. I walk in with the fans. I sit with the fans. I wait in line with the fans. I talk to the fans. I go through the entire game experience. And you better believe I get about 2 to 4 pages of notes every time I do it, and noticing what those friction points are. And even this year, we did frontline fan, where I actually worked in the concession stand on the first register in the main concession stand. And Matt, I was terrible. I was slower than everyone else there. That is not my specialty. But I learned areas on how to interact with the fans. What do they want more? What do our people want? What's the easiest transition or transaction that we can make? Interaction. How do we make it fun? I think so many of us leaders, we're just up, in our offices, maybe thinking about what we need to do, but we're not actually getting face to face with our customers, with our people, and seeing what needs to be done and looking at those friction points. So for us, that's it. It always starts with friction. If you want to innovate, look at friction points. One of the greatest innovations, and I wear it around my wrist almost daily, is the Disney Magic Band. They realized that the lines at Disney was a big friction point. So they said, can we get a magic band that literally can get you in the ballpark, can get you in all the rides, can get your food, can pay for everything? That was delivered because of a friction point. What are the friction points in your business, and how do you eliminate them? And that's what we're constantly asking. That's why we have no shipping fees. And you don't have to pay $99 like Amazon Prime. There's no shipping fees, because an $18 shirt, a $20 shirt shouldn't be $27.
I was buying a book for $10.
Yeah.
Shipping was $11, and I'm like, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, it's crap.
$21. I don't care, but don't tell me it's going to be $11 to ship.
It's crap. And then the ticket industry. All right, a $35 ticket. All right, $5.50 on ticket fees. $3.85 on convenience fees. Convenience fees, the most inconvenient fee in the world. We have no fees. A ticket, an $18 ticket, gets all your burgers, all your hot dogs, all your chicken sandwiches, all your soda, all your water, all your popcorn, all your dessert, and your ticking. Your parking's free. That's it. So eliminate those friction points. And I think that's where companies, especially sports teams, will win. There's so many friction points in the experience. Just put yourself in your shoes. Do you like pulling that money out of your pocket? Every single pay point is a pain point. Eliminate those pain points and make the experience easier. And that's what we've learned from Disney, and that's what we keep trying to do.
Yeah, because one of the things that I subscribe to is that I don't need to charge you just because I can. So if I could charge you $20 for it, doesn't mean I should be charging you $20. Maybe I charge you $10 and you can buy. You're going to spend $20 and you'll get something else for $10 and a much better value, and it's a much better feel to it.
Yeah.
For concessions, you could charge $1 for a water, and you guys would make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, well, yeah. If we charge any of our sodas, all of our sodas free, all of our burgers are free, and every single ticket. But that's not the game. We win because you said the right word, Matt. It was value.
Yeah,
value. Companies don't talk about value as much. The former team before us, professional baseball, they were at a higher level than us. They were actually, every Friday you could bring like toilet paper or a toiletry and get a free ticket. They had dollar ticket days. They had everything. Their ticket price was dramatically lower. We went higher. But we provide an outrageous amount of value that when your kid comes and he says, can I have another drink? Yeah, just go. Can I have a hot dog? Go. Do you want a cookie? Just go. It's all covered. Don't pull money out of the wallet. So that's been fun for us. And we're continuing to challenge that. We eliminated all advertising from our stadium. People would say that's not really a friction point. Well, I would say I'd argue against that. I'd argue if you have ads all over your ballpark and you're reading ads and you're having promos about ads, that is a friction point because no one wants to be advertised to, especially in the next 10, 20 years. So
a lot of noise.
It's not, there's a reason why we love Netflix and we don't like YouTube as much. Skip ads, skip ads, skip ads. I would argue that every single person skips ad. Like we all skip ads.
But I love commercials that aren't like that. I'm never going to buy from. I just love, there's commercials that are great. I'm never going to buy from them, but it's just great, and I enjoy the feeling of it.
So you like commercial? So you like it because of the entertainment standpoint?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, if an ad is entertaining and it's not trying to sell you, that's different. But I would argue most ads are trying to sell you something.
You know what? It's interesting about the advertising and the sponsor. Because when you look at naming rights of a stadium, these people are spending hundreds of millions of dollars. They've obviously calculated that it's going to be a return for them. So there's value in that. But there's other ways that you can offer the value to the sponsors or the partners or, whatever it is.
What do you do best? It goes back to what do you do best?
Yeah.
Every business I believe we should work with, because I believe taking care of your people, your employees, and taking care of your customers, your clients is paramount. Obviously, COVID, it's been a challenge for a lot of people, but the reality is as we move out of this, every company, I believe, what we do to take care of them and give them fun, give them enjoyment, with our games especially, you're not just going to sit as a spectator, you're going to be involved in the show, the experience, the food's covered. I think that's how we can benefit every single business. I'm not saying we can't benefit businesses, but I would say if a business wants to spend $50,000, is $50,000 the best expense with a sports team, or using digital, or using it on the experience that they create? We don't spend marketing dollars. We spend it on the experience. Why we have a 20-piece pep band, why we have a professional high fiver, why we have a luchador coach and a male cheerleading team and a Banana Nana senior citizen dance team and a break dancing coach and more characters, more characters, more characters. That's a big expense, but it adds to the experience that when you leave the game, you say, you wouldn't believe what the breakdancing first base coach did today. You wouldn't believe what the players did when they came in the crowd and they delivered my daughter a rose during the game. When they're talking about that, that's much better marketing than you could spend on anything else. So I challenge businesses to spend their marketing dollars with that, as opposed to spending it necessarily with a sports team. Crazy, not for everyone, but for us, it made sense.
Yeah. So let's get back to the fans. What was the craziest ask that you've gotten from the fans? Is there something that sticks out?
An ask, it's funny. I really don't think fans ask for much. What we do is we listen carefully and respond creatively. So we listen. Like during COVID, I remember, one of our fans said what I would do for Oreo cookies and milk right now. And our ticket experience coordinator ran out to the grocery store, grabbed Oreo cookies and milk, put it in her mailbox, and sent her a message that said, check your mailbox. This is all within an hour. Those are things that we will do. But I don't think people ask for much because we try to just deliver it. Fans all want to play on the team. We have all fans that want to coach, and we're letting that. We let fans this past year choose who was going to pitch in the game. Literally pick the closer. And the first time they picked the closer from University of Georgia, he let up 6 runs in the 9th inning. It wasn't the best pick, let's put it that way. In Mobile, on our One City World Tour this spring, we just put out a request for nominations for coach. We got hundreds of nominations, and now we put out the top 5. We're over 1,000 votes already in the first day. We're going to let someone from Mobile coach with the Bananas. And so when you look at fans first, those are easy decisions for us, because what are those opportunities we can give fans that they wouldn't have anywhere else? To dictate who's going to play, who's going to pitch, to choose our uniforms. They named our team. They named our coach. They named the city we were going to. They're part of naming our drinks that we're having at the ballpark. This is a fan-owned team, even though, they don't have necessarily ownership shares. Imagine if every sports team was like that.
Yeah, so last night I actually ran into a football league out west. I think I saw Bob Menery touting it, but it's a fan league where they call the plays.
Yeah.
So it seemed interesting to me. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. So you guys are all about fun on the field, and obviously with that, you're trying to do everything and anything. You take risks, you win some, you lose some. What has been like a real, and I wouldn't say a loss isn't the right word, but something that failed, it didn't work the way you wanted it to. And it could have been a spectacular failure because, and I always forget it, but isn't one of the most memorable promotion nights that one that just was a disaster, like fire everywhere, right? That's what people talk about.
Yeah, speaking of fire, the first night we brought in a circus act to be a part of our team, and they were twirling fire batons in the air, and it landed on the grass. And I was like, oh my goodness, our literally grass is going to catch on fire before opening night this year. Luckily, we got rain the day before, it didn't. But we have over 250 promotions we do. Every night we do 1 to 2 that we've never done before in front of a live audience. I remember the first night we had 4 kids in horse heads, and it had a horse race, and they couldn't see out of the horse heads. And one ended up in right field, one ended up almost on the mound, and the game was delayed about 5 minutes. It was bad. And that was all caught on camera because we do a streaming. Yeah, I mean, this year we did insiders where we literally had drones in the middle of the games. We had mic'd up players. The fans choose who was going to pitch. The audio was brutal in the beginning. The drone flew into the net the first day because we didn't know what we were doing. A lot of different disasters. But it's so tough to talk about failures. I mean, back in the day, Salute to Underwear Night, Flatulence Fun Night, our world's largest tickets that were the size of posters that our fans were like, what do we do with these? They couldn't put them in their pockets. They couldn't put them anywhere. Lots of different learning. And I don't think failures, it's more discovery for us. But one of the biggest ones happened just about a month ago. We had Fansgiving. And so with Fansgiving, big test for us, can we play year-round games? Can we create excitement? And we announced that we were going to have a game November 13th. It's sold out, half capacity, but still 2,000 fans in 24 hours. And they didn't know who was playing. And we also announced that we were going to starve our fans for 66 minutes in honor of the 66-day journey of the Pilgrims. And then we were going to have a giant feast at the end of that. Well, Matt, that was a disaster. We were giving out rations, throwing out bread and candy corn. Fans were loving it. And then the actual feast, we were not prepared like we should have been. There was a long wait, ran out of food, challenges. I mean, it was brutal. But the fans still gave us a chance. We had some tough reviews. I saw one on Facebook. Tonight was an absolute cluster. And it was pretty tough. But the reality is, it's like, no, we learned. We learned. You know, it's so crazy. You know sports a little bit. You know which player has more strikeouts in Major League history than anyone? Which hitter has failed more than anyone else?
Well, I think Adam Dunn is pretty, but it's probably going back in the day.
Yeah, he Dunn hasn't played enough, but if I tell you this, he had 3 home runs in Game 6 of the 1977 World Series to propel the Yankees to the World Series championship. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. He's not known for the strikeouts. No. He's known for the home runs. He's known as Mr. October. And so what I challenge everyone is that they're too afraid of failure. People aren't going to remember the fails. You know, I don't know about you, but how often do you talk about the Amazon phone? You know, the Amazon phone, I think, was a $500 million failure. But it also, because of that, we also learned how we have Alexa, we have the Kindles, we have Amazon Web Services, we have all these new Amazon Prime, all these new innovations. And so don't worry about the fails. Don't worry about the strikeouts. Come up to bat more. Keep coming to bat. And that's what our whole thing is. This year, we invented a brand new game, Banana Ball. We invented a whole new way of watching the game, subscription, Bananas Insiders. We learned that we could play games in the offseason. We announced a one-city world tour. We're taking the show on the road where no one else is doing that in baseball right now. All those things were experiments. A few of them aren't going to go as well. But overall, we're gonna win. Baseball is
a crazy game, right? We always talk about this. If you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer, right? You hit 300. Where else can you get that? And the difference between being a 300 hitter and a 200 hitter is just one hit every 10 times. Yeah. But it's a fine line between the greatest in the game and someone who no one talks about.
So the question is, are businesses, leaders, are they coming to bat 10 times? Are they taking 10 experiments? Are they doing 10 experiments this week, this month, this year? I bet you they're not. 10 new experiments? And what if 3 of those are big hits? You know, that's the game. Jeff Bezos said our success is a direct function of how many experiments we do per year, per month, per week, per day. How many experiments are you doing? Everyone talks experience, but are they talking about experiments? It's a different game.
Yeah, it's very true for me because throughout my life, I've had all these ideas. And the first time I hit a roadblock, I was like, all right, I'm not going to do it. And then, a couple of years ago, I said, you know what, F it. I'm just going to do it. And, once you get over that first hump, it's not easy, but you know that you can do it. And so I have Ticket Time Machine, but I'm working on another venture already. So I'm going to have 2 startups trying to get them going all at once because I feel like there's a need for it, that people can want it and then it can be successful. And I'll bet on myself every day of the week. I quit my job in April. That's what you got to do. It's just you're betting on yourself. And the good thing about what you're doing, what we aim to do is when you're a good company, when you're doing for the fans, it's okay to not please them. It's okay to have a stinker of a night, because they understand that, you know, you were trying to do something for them, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But if they understand who you are and what you're trying to do, they're going to give you that, you know, the pass for something that didn't work as well.
If you build that trust.
Yeah.
For instance, if I pull up to a Taco Bell or a McDonald's and they mess up, I'll be pretty upset. If I go to Chick-fil-A and they mess up, I'm okay, because I've gone to Chick-fil-A so many times and that they've done it the right way and that they've cared. So you build that trust by showing up consistently and doing right for your people and your fans. So it's not just something like, oh, you know, they'll forgive me this one time. Well, you haven't earned that yet. We messed up badly on Fansgiving, and it was part of our fault. We came up with a really dumb idea and we didn't execute it. But what was crazy is that we had so many people saying it was the most fun. Hey, they didn't get the food right, but everything else was great. I tell you, if we hadn't built that trust over the last 5 years, we would have lost 2,000 fans that night for good, and then multiply that by how many people they told. Fortunately, I think they told them positively because they focused on the good, not the bad.
Yeah, and isn't it crazy how good Chick-fil-A was at the drive-thru in COVID? Just real quickly, they were the gold standard for how to handle the crowd, and nobody's even close to it.
Because they didn't have to change anything.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is obviously they had to change their protocols and how they serve, but they have been serving in a way for so long to put their customers first. They were the first ones to go out and have people out there with iPads taking orders. You know, they were the first one to figure out how to get orders quicker than anyone else. And so, you know, when you've been doing it, it's just, okay, now we're going to pivot again. We're going to pivot again, but you're going to pivot within your own ecosystem of putting your customers first.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about baseball. How did you get into baseball? Is it something that you've always loved? Tell me how you got to be the owner of the Savannah Bananas.
Took on an outrageous amount of debt. That's what I did to become the owner of the Bananas and Grizzlies and the former team I had. But yes, no, baseball was everything for me as a kid. My father actually ended up buying a baseball facility up in Massachusetts, an indoor facility, so I could play year round. I was called a club rat because I was always there taking swings at the cages. And I remember my dad used to always say, Jesse, swing hard in case you hit it. I was coming up to the bat swinging as hard as I can as a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old. I was fortunate to you know, build a lot of success. I got a full college scholarship to play D1 baseball down here at South Carolina, and was hearing from teams. I remember getting letters from the Padres and the Pirates and Christmas cards from the New York Mets with Shea Stadium with the snow on the field. And it was really, really cool. You know, I had 42 starts on the mound, had 15 starts as a freshman. But unfortunately, I tore everything in my shoulder my junior year. And Dr. Andrews couldn't get me back. I had labrum and the supraspinatus and infraspinatus. Probably said those wrong, but they're two different rotator cuffs. It was completely torn, never came back. And it was the best thing that ever happened for me, because that's when I got an email about an internship with a failing team in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Took that internship, started selling the team, and sold more than the GM and the marketing director combined, and got offered the job as a GM at 23 of a team that was even worse in Gastonia, North Carolina. And that's how it really started for me.
That's great. So you were a Gamecock? Is that
No. I pitched against South Carolina. I had pitched a one-hitter against South Carolina. Were the number 2 in the country. I remember that game vividly, striking out Steve Pierce. And yeah, they had some good players. Then the year after, I pitched against Justin Smoke and James Darnell and Reese Havens, some of those guys. But no, I played at Wofford. So we played all those Georgia Techs and yeah.
I'm familiar with. Did they ever make the tournament?
Wofford, yeah. Our last year, we won the SoCon and went to the tournament. Yeah, and we beat South Carolina. We had some big wins, but you know, we had some more epic losses. I remember scoring 30 runs in 3 games against Texas Tech, and we lost all 3. And I pitched the first game. So some interesting moments, but you know, I'll put that all in kind of full circle there. I put so much pressure on myself when I played at Wofford. You know, I was the biggest scholarship guy. You know, they upped their offer because Boston College increased their offer for me, and Northeastern increased their offer. So they upped their offer. And I put so much pressure on myself. I pitched every Friday night. I was the number 1 starter, whatever I pitched. And I'd go against top guys, D1 baseball down south here, that were all draft guys. And I didn't have fun because I took it too seriously. And I'll tell you, my career suffered because of it. And I did not put up good numbers the way I should have. But when I played summer ball, I just let myself have fun. You know, I was MVP of a summer league my sophomore year. I was an all-star my freshman year, my junior year. You know, I delivered because I had fun. And so when I think about what we provide with the Savannah Bananas, if we're not making it fun and giving the guys opportunities of fun, we are failing. And I think that's the problem with Major League Baseball. It's too corporate. It's too much about the politics and the money. Let the kids play and let them have fun. When you think back to Ken Griffey Jr. and you think back to Nomar Garcia-Parra, and you think about those guys, they had fun. And then the game became too big, too important, too professional. Take that away, rip that away. And that's what we're trying to do. And yeah, it's why we invented a game, Banana Ball, to be even more fun, to let the guys just have a good time, and where we celebrate bat flips and we celebrate, big celebration moves after strikeouts and have showdowns one-on-one, because that's important. And when kids don't see players having fun, why would they want to play? Why?
Yeah. The kid, I saw a good 30 for 30 about the Little League guy who back in the 80s, they won the whole Little League World Series and he was done. The pressure was too much. It wasn't fun for him. And that was the apex of his career. And it's sad to see that type of fun taken away. You always hear on the sidelines, like the Little League fathers who are yelling at their kids and, trying everything to get to be the next Tiger Woods and Serena and the Williams sisters. And that's, kids need to have fun. If you're not having fun, I mean, obviously, look, you got to be good at something, right? But you gotta want to play the game, and anything you can do to make it fun is good. Did you ever watch Summer Catch, the movie?
Freddie Prinze and Jessica Biel. Yes, I have.
Great summer. There was another movie. It kind of reminded me a little bit like it was on Netflix about
Battered Bastards of Baseball.
Summer baseball. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Well, there was Battered Bastards of Baseball, which is one of the best documentaries ever on the Portland Mavericks and the Independent and what they did with Bing Russell and Kurt Russell. That's maybe not what you're talking about, but I've watched that probably 27 times. It's brilliant.
That sounds like something we need to check out. If you were going to go to the majors, did you have a favorite team growing up? You grew up in
I was bat boy for the Red Sox when I was 6 or 7 years old. I got to sit next to Roger Clemens and Lee Smith and Wade Boggs and Jody Reed. And then I got to pitch at Fenway when I was 20 years old in an all-star game. I mentioned that league that I was MVP of. I got to pitch. I got started the game on the mound. And I'll tell you, that was the best velocity I probably ever had, the adrenaline pitching on the Fenway Park mound. I wish they had the radar gun going because I know I was going to pop it that day. But that's, obviously Red Sox was everything. And when you grew up in Boston sports, I was a senior in high school when the Patriots won their first Super Bowl with Brady. And it was an excused absence to go to the parade. So you were actually allowed to skip school to go to the Patriots parade. That's how sports was at Boston. Then I came down south. It's like, professional teams? No. We're into college. I was like, okay, I'll try to find my college team. But like Wofford has 1,000 students. And it's like, go Terriers. I didn't have
a basketball program too.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. They're doing some stuff now.
I had worked at a company in Miami and I had a long drive. It was about an hour and 10 minutes every day. And the Heat won the championship. Mm-hmm. It took me 4.5 hours to get down. I was just going to turn around, but I was so mad too because I really disliked the Heat. So now it was like a double whammy. I got to watch the parade from it. But, sports is crazy, the fanatical aspect of sports. And I'm that way, now with the Gators in college. I grew up, watching professional. I still watch the pros, but there's something about the college and the feeling you have attached to it, when you're there, a little bit different than just growing up. It just depends on what city you're in. For us, tell us about the Yellow Tux. How did that start? Why is it? Is it yellow because of bananas? Was there a tux before the bananas?
Yeah, I've read everything, studied everything on P.T. Barnum. I got a giant poster here in my office of P.T. and very inspirational in what he did. And obviously, I realized if I was putting on a show at our ballpark and we're not about baseball, we're about the show, I need to dress that part. And I need to give our staff permission to have fun. The owner's dressed up, that's a little different. It's okay to have fun, put on a sombrero, put on a crazy costume and enjoy it. So back in 2011, when we had our Grizzlies, there were no bananas. I had a friend who owned a bridal and formal shop, and he got me a big black tuxedo with tails and a top hat. And it was about 100 degrees that first day, and I almost melted. So I looked online. I said, I need a lighter one. And the Grizzlies had some gold in their color. So I found this, got it overnighted, got it the next day, wore the game. Everyone's taking pictures. Yellow Tux Guy, Yellow Tux Guy. I didn't have a name. And then so it stuck. And our staff could always find me. And I was having fun, pieing people, taking videos and selfies. And then people started asking me to speak. You got to wear the yellow tux, though, Jesse. You got to wear the yellow tux. And so it became a thing. And so now this is my uniform. This when I put this on at showtime. And I used to have a uniform when I played baseball, and that means it's game time. This is mine, and it's showtime. So I wear this whenever I'm working or on stage, which is a lot. The only times I'm not is when I'm, with my 2.5-year-old and my wife, and we're just having fun. But yes, he knows when he sees me in the yellow tux, my son, it's like, Daddy work. He knows what's going on.
Where's the most awkward, I don't know what the word is, the place you've worn that tux and just been out wearing it?
Oh, geez, I've worn it everywhere. I mean, I starting to fly, years ago when I started giving lots of more keynote speeches all over the country and then all over the world, flying into Canada, different places like Saskatchewan. People are like, what is wrong with this? Like just looking at me like very confused. Flying into Mexico, I fit in really well. People were all like, he's having fun, So the airports were tough. Getting TSA, luckily I got the pre-check now, but the getting TSA, checking me, I'm like, every time, I'm like, guys, really, would I dress like this? Is this the way to not, get attention? But no, it's, restaurants, I'll wear it. It's very flattering. I wear it to work, obviously, in Savannah, because I'm doing so many videos, so many talks, and lots of things with our fans. But whenever I go to restaurants, it's very nice. People come over and they're very supportive. But when you're in a city that no one knows who the Savannah Bananas are, what's wrong with that guy? And people try to make it like they don't. I see their phones going up to take pictures.
Yeah,
You won't believe this guy that I just saw at the restaurant here. Or you want to like, I know that's happening. So most times when I see it happen, I just turn and smile and I wave or I give the finger point. But
do you get the Dumb and Dumber comments at all?
Yeah, mostly I get where's George?
Yeah.
Where's George?
Over my shoulder here, you see Peter Griffin. You have a closet that's just yellow tux after yellow tux?
Yeah. I posted it on Instagram, months back. But yeah, I have 7 tuxes. I've got 3 of these hats. Actually, this was a gift that was sent to me. Unfortunately, I get sent a lot of, Maverick, my son's been sent 2 yellow tuxes. I said, I appreciate it. It's very nice gifts, but he needs a green tuxedo because he's not quite ripe yet. So by them giving a yellow tuxedo, they jumped the gun a little bit. But I've got sent a lot of really nice gifts that are themed out to P.T. Barnum or yellow tux. I got sent yellow shoes, you name it. It's been pretty cool.
So P.T. Barnum, that's The Greatest Showman. I assume that's a movie that you've seen and like you said,
yeah. I saw when it first came out back. I think I saw December 20th. I saved the stub. I've got P.T. Barnum trading cards. People have got me. Someone gave me a P.T. Barnum autograph from 1870 or 1860, right before he died. A lot of P.T. Barnum, Walt Disney things that people have been really nice to send me.
And have you been to the actual circus?
Yeah, went to the last circus before it shut down. 146 years. My wife and I went to it when it was up here in Charlotte, where we have a house with our family up here. But it was sad to see. It was sad to see.
I've been to a few. It's such a great experience for the kids, and that's so. Talk about minor league baseball. It's a great time to bring your kids who don't even know about baseball. You don't have to be a baseball fan to come to a minor league baseball game and have a good time, right? And so that's sort of what you're working off of.
Well, the problem is that people are still leaving games early. And I personally, I can't go to a minor league baseball game. I'm bored out of my mind. And if you look at most minor league baseball games, very few fans are going to. And I hate saying that, but the reality is it's a baseball game. You're relying on the players to provide the entertainment, and everyone has seen a double before everyone's seen a home run and everyone's seen a strikeout. So what are you doing to make it fun in between that? If you can't control how the players play on the field, what can you control? And it was, we do a dizzy bat and we have a kiss cam. No, you got to have script going nonstop. We have 5 stages at our ballpark. You got the parking lot, the plaza, the grandstand, the concourse, and the field. How are you entertaining on all 5 stages? And we've learned we've had to do that to keep people from leaving early. And people still leave early. That's why we developed Banana Ball, the 2-hour game, because we've realized that fans won't leave. It's 2 hours. It's perfect. You don't leave a great movie in the middle of a movie if you're having a great time. Yet people leave a baseball game in the middle of a game because they've had enough. So
I got a friend who he left in the 7th inning of the Santana no-hitter. There was a fan, his wife, go home with the kids, but everyone's got a story like it. You leave the stadium and now it's on the air roar.
Yeah, the kids had enough. The kids were, Daddy, can we go home? I'm tired. I'm bored. But the biggest thing we're fighting is boredom. And I think every company has to fight that to an extent, because the reality is there's so much distraction, so much entertainment, so many things trying to grab you, that if your experience is boring, good luck. It's like, well, we're not an entertainment business. No, the definition of entertainment is to provide enjoyment and provide amusement. We are all in the entertainment business. If you're not entertaining your customers, someone else is, and someone else is creating a fan of them.
Yeah, but so the one question I will have is the infrastructure of minor league baseball is they have players who are looking to get to if it's a farm system, they're looking to get to the majors. And even at the majors, they are an entertainment. So they need to provide the entertainment, but they also do need to win. So are they concerned that
who needs to provide the entertainment? The players?
No, not the players, the organizations.
But is that their focus? Everything they're great.
The players, I don't know.
Yeah, no. So what I would argue now, some of the ones that are doing it well, every major league team, people ask, when people talk to a major league team, how you guys going to be this year? How you doing? What place are you in? You guys going to win this year? So all they're talking about is wins and losses, and are they going to win? Is it a rebuilding year? Are they going to be able to go to the playoffs, championship, World Series? That's what they talk about. We don't talk about that at all.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying, don't they have to? I mean, can you be a major league baseball team, never win anything, and still be successful but being a major league baseball team?
I think that's the wrong question. I think if you focus on creating the best environment, the best atmosphere, the most fun for your players and your fans, you will win.
But players will want to be there.
Correct. If you create a better experience, we have thousands of players that look to try to be a part of the Bananas because they're treated like a celebrity. They have a rock star experience. They sign more autographs. They get to be in more videos. Right now we're fortunate. We have more followers on TikTok than any major league team there is. And when you go on our TikTok, you might get, we just posted a video the other day, 1 million views. Like it happens. And so you have a chance to do that. And what would be more fun and more exciting and cooler to be a part of? And we think that's where you can win if you can provide that experience for the players. Whether you're in Tampa Bay or Kansas City, it doesn't matter. Yes, it's cool, Chicago, the Cubs, the Red Sox, the Yankees. But I think there's even better opportunity in these other markets, like Miami. Jeter's got the Marlins, all right? You could say all you want about Florida. Florida's tough to draw. If that ballpark was the place to be, the most exciting, the most fun for different age graphics, different demographics, I'll tell you, more players will want to play there. And then you'll have a better playing experience because you have a better fan experience.
Yeah, I like it down there. I like indoor baseball. I like it down there. The reason we don't go as much is we can't tailgate. So we used to tailgate for like 2-3 hours before the game and then go in on a Saturday. It's also a longer drive.
Yeah.
So, you took away a little bit of that. The atmosphere around the stadium, which for a lot of, you go to Wrigley, you go to Fenway, look, the stadiums are awesome, but there's an environment around the stadium as well. It's a night, even if you don't, you go to the game, people can go hang around there, and it's fun to be around on game day. You're kind of just going in and out. They've tried some stuff. It's tough. I think they can do it. I don't know that there's any place that can't be successful, right?
Yeah, it's just an overhaul. They have to be willing to throw out the way we used to do things. And what got you here won't get you there. And Miami's won 2 World Series, but hey, that's in the past. Those fans are gone. You can't focus on the current fans you have necessarily. Focus on the new fans and where you're going. So, as Wayne Gretzky said, I don't go to where the puck has been. I go to where the puck's going.
Right.
Marlins need to go after a young, fun audience. To create a young, fun audience, it's not about the baseball.
So is it safe to say you believe that any minor league team can be successful anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, again, in much smaller scales, and a lot of minor league operators have proved it. There's so many great operators out there. So I'm not taking credit, saying that just we're doing it right. There's so many that are doing it right. But yeah, I mean, we had a team in Gastonia that had only 200 fans coming to the games, and we became in a few years number 4 in the country in attendance and started selling out games. We were increasing revenue 6-7 figures. I mean, it was wild. And then Savannah, a market that failed with minor league baseball, they left because they couldn't get support. We have a waiting list for thousands of tickets, and every single game sold out. So, I think to an extent we've shown it a little bit. Now the question is, do you have the chutzpah and the courage to be able to challenge the way things have been done and say, you know what, we're going to break some of the rules. We're going to challenge the status quo, and we're not going to be afraid of pissing a few people off.
Yeah.
And if you're able to do that, you're going to win in the long run. And don't play the short run. Don't play the short game. I have no idea what's in our account right now. I have no idea what's going to be in our account next quarter. I'm not focused on the next quarter. I'm focused on the next quarter century. I told the city of Savannah when our lease ran out at the end of this year, I said, I'd like to sign a 100-year lease. And they laughed at me. And I said, no, 100, I think 100's good. And I go, Arthur Guinness signed a 1,000-year lease for Guinness Brewery. I go, we'll do much smaller than that. We'll go 100-year lease. They go, we can't do a 100-year lease. So unfortunately, they were only giving me a 5 to 10 year with a 10-year lease. But you need to think that big and think that long. And when you can do that, you make decisions for the long term. And the reason why we threw away $500,000 on sponsorship revenue is because we weren't focused on the revenue in the next quarter. We were focused on creating more long-term fans.
Yeah, I don't have a budget myself because that constrains me. I look at, hey, do I need it? And how, is this something that is going to help me? So if I have a budget and say, oh, everyone goes above their budget anyway, right? Is anyone not?
Most people. Yeah, I don't know if everyone does, but yeah,
a lot of people do. My wife and I went to Savannah and Charleston on a trip in December a few years back. It was freezing cold, so we didn't get to enjoy all of it, but we ate some good food. Have you ever had the fried bologna sandwich or peanut butter and jelly wings at Trailer Park?
I have not, but I have definitely gone to Trailer Park numerous times. I have not had those ones, though.
And the best breakfast we had was at Nairobi's Grits. Have you ever heard of them?
Heard of them, have not been to them, though.
Yeah, excellent breakfast. Authentic Savannah soul food. So we're looking forward to coming there when it's nicer. Hopefully, maybe we catch a Savannah Bananas game.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, just a few other questions, some speed questions. What do you have a favorite movie?
Yeah, that's tough. What's that? Well, I mentioned Battered Bastards of Baseball. That's a documentary. I've watched that a ton. Greatest Showman. I've definitely watched that a ton. Back in the day, For Love of the Game with Kevin Costner, I watched that one a ton. So I'm not big movies, but I do like documentaries.
Yeah, Field of Dreams is one of my favorite movies of all time. Probably in my top 5.
Definitely classic.
Great movie. What's your favorite memorabilia, piece of memorabilia or souvenir? Do you have one? Maybe it reminds you of childhood or something you've been to. I know you got some good stuff behind you.
Yeah, I've had some really nice gifts. I mean, that P.T. Barnum signature is pretty cool. Some Walt Disney stuff is really cool. But yeah, memorabilia. I don't have a ton of the signed baseballs and ton of that. Obviously, I'm saving a lot of banana stuff. That means a lot. So.
Yeah, your stuff is like, we're selling memories is really what we're doing. And I equate it to like, if my house burns down, I could buy new clothes. I could buy all this stuff, but there's things that I could never replace. And those are the things that mean the most to me. And you hear that every time someone goes through something like that. So that's why I'm all about souvenirs and memorabilia. And that's why Ticket Time Machine exists. One food, you have to eat it for a year and that's all you can eat. What is it?
Well, I have the same cereal every single day, except for Sundays when I take my son out to breakfast. I have Honey Bunch of Oats with almonds every single morning. Never change that.
That's pretty good.
I've already been going with that, but every day, man, I'm a pizza, I'm a burger guy, and I'm a burrito guy. Put those 3 together, I'm a pretty happy dude. And then Italian, man, I love my dad's Italian. So I'm breaking the rules on this whole answer, but I'm going to go with all of that.
All of them. Okay. You got one celebrity. They're alive. You get to spend 24 hours with them. Who is it, and what are you guys doing?
Ooh. I always answer at the start. I said I would play catch with Walt Disney on Main Street in Disney World, but he's dead, so I got to take that one off. But that's what I would do. I'd play catch with Walt and talk with him on Main Street in Disney World. But now, here's the people I'm fascinated by. Reed Hastings, Netflix, fascinated by him. Jeff Bezos, obviously with Amazon, fascinated by him. Brian Chesky, fascinated by him. And then Vince McMahon, fascinated by him. Those 4, that would be a heck of a dinner. So I'm going to break the rules again, not say one. I'm going to have a dinner. So I'll take away, not 24 hours, an extended dinner with those 5 guests. 4 guests.
You don't get anywhere without breaking some rules, so that's
sure.
Right. What would you be doing if you could do anything you want and it wasn't a minor league team? Like, was there something growing up? I know you were playing baseball, but something that was in your mind, or if you could just snap your fingers and now all of a sudden you're a doctor or
Not a doctor. That'd be very scary for every patient. But a lot of people have said, Jesse, I think you'd be a cruise director. With the energy and stuff. I would say I'd be a cruise director, but I want to run the cruise. I'd also want to be like the owner of that cruise ship and be the most fun party cruise ship ever.
You can do it. I go on music cruises and it's not a cruise, it's an experience. And
And we'd be experimenting too. We'd do a lot of experiments on that cruise. And yeah, so maybe one day we'll have a Savannah Bananas cruise. We'll see what happens.
Great. I'll go back to this. I was going to ask a question, but I forgot to ask you about your 1 minute. You walk around the stadium. It's 1 minute. It's great advice. And it's so easy to do, right? Who can't take a minute out of their day or 2 minutes out of their day to put some type of content out there? How did that come to be?
I always have notes in my Evernote. I leave a note like, hey, I'm thinking about this idea over this idea, and just different things. Greatest leaders make the least amount of decisions, or, constant experimentation, just different little ideas that come to me. I was like, I want to share it. And so I just turned the phone on me and started filming it. And I've done probably 200 of those. And the reality is the first 20, I don't think there was one comment or like, but I just kept doing it, because what happens is I think a lot of us leaders, we don't share enough to be able to learn enough from it. And what I mean by that is the greatest, I think, asset, the greatest ability of leaders is the ability to communicate. And when you look at what P.T. Barnum and Walt Disney did, their ability to communicate and inspire and bring forth energy and enthusiasm was how they galvanized people together to make great things happen. So the question that I ask, and the reason why, is I'm doing this, it's helping me communicate more. If I can get a point into 1 minute and share it that can make an impact, that will help me provide clarity in my own mind. That will also help communicate and inspire more people to take action. And so that's why I started doing it. And it wasn't about, trying to make a huge impact. It was just sharing what's on my mind and seeing what happens. And I think not focused on the results, focused on the action steps.
Yeah, I'm big on that. Like, it doesn't matter how many people are watching this or, like it or share it. There's a lot of immeasurable data out there. And I say this every time. You just never know who's watching and who it can impact. And so that's why we keep doing it. I mean, I'll keep posting whatever I'm posting. You've given a very good blueprint. I like to follow the people who I think are authentic about it, because there's a lot of people who aren't authentic about what they're doing and why they're doing it. So when you find someone and you can watch them and learn from them, that's what's great. I hope to have a platform like that at some point and get some of the same accolades. What are you most proud about? What's your biggest accomplishment professionally? I know obviously you're married, you have some kids. That's going to be number one. But professionally, what do you think what are you most proudest about?
Some people talk about work-life balance, and they talk about, professionally and personally. No, 150%, 1000%, my greatest accomplishment is my wife. And here's why. And I'm going to say this because, so many people can't believe that she married me and said yes to me in a yellow tuxedo. But when you marry someone that grew up with 3 brothers, a family that had some challenging times, and she took care of everybody and learned how to care. When you have someone by your side that supports your dreams and helps make your dreams come a reality, that affects every accomplishment that's moving forward. Everything that we accomplish is because of the support of my wife. And so I know that sounds like I answered not the way you want to do it, but
it's a great answer, because work life is everything to me.
Yeah.
And if I can't enjoy my life, then what am I doing?
100%. And so, for instance, I'm right now in a office. We bought a old fixer-upper house in a neighborhood next to her family, and literally the first priority for her was get an office set up for me so that I could be able to make an impact and inspire and do my thing. Like, that's what she immediately thinks that. And so how many people have that support? And you say, well, what do you accomplish this year professionally? Well, they can't happen if you don't have the personal support and love and so encouragement. And so that's will always be my greatest accomplishment. It's convincing a girl that is 10 times better and 1,000,000 times better than I ever will be to say yes to this crazy guy in a yellow tuxedo.
Well, look, I got to tell you, I believe that you can inspire from anywhere you are. With that said, I really appreciate you coming on. I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with next. Trying to, be the next yellow tux guy without, I'll make it my own. I don't know what it is yet, but it'll be something. Tell everyone how they can follow you, where you'd like them to, what they should do to hear more Jesse.
Sure. If you search Yellow Tux, you'll find me. It's that simple. Yellow Tux. I post almost every day on LinkedIn. Find Your Yellow Tux. And Savannah Bananas, you can see all the stuff. We do tons of videos. We put a lot of time into that. And, it's a lot of people. I heard this from Daniel Priestley. He says, what's the book that'll change your life won't be the book that you read. It'll be the book that you write. And so I challenge people not only to write a book, but you look about consuming and learning about people, just start sharing, start creating, start putting yourself out there. That will make the biggest impact. So I'm here and I can help in any way, but it'll be a bigger impact if you just put that first post out, put that first podcast out, put that first live out, and just share it. So I hope this will empower you to start doing more of that.
Yeah, once you do it, it just becomes second nature. So thanks again, Jesse. Everyone have a great weekend. Well, I think we have some shows next week, so stay tuned. And that's it. Thanks a lot, Jesse. See you soon.
Take care, man.
Bye.